Are we ready for our final speaker of the afternoon? Okay, so I've written some notes and I've had to amend them because John is the former social media manager for Innocent Drinks, and he'll tell you about that, I think, when he speaks. He's in my good books because, as I say, I wrote to all the speakers on LinkedIn and said, will you be my friend? LinkedIn is sort of like the old person's Facebook. And I think I'm still in purgatory with other John, who's just leaving me there. He enjoys the power over me. And in a weird way, I enjoy his power over me too. I'm blaming Noisy Little Monkey. Are we still in here, Noisy Little Monkey? Have they gone? Yeah, are you part of Noisy Little Monkey? So the conversation was sort of mild levels of BDSM with a kick in the nuts, washed down with some cocaine. I was like, wow, it's my kind of business. Possibly a bit too much for this room at this time of day. But anyway, moving on very quickly. So I asked for some interesting facts, and John really did. I'm not sure whether to worry or to be excited for the fact that he once ate a Subway and had all 16 sauces on it. These are the sort of facts we need, because we don't want to know about business. We want to know about the human, and if we find the human, we'll get a better interaction and we'll become better friends. I already feel like we're homies. Like, I'm going to be there, me and you, like, you're like, who's this weirdo? And I'm just having the best time with you. He did the Sport Relief Mile on a space hopper. It's pretty cool. Now, these are his own words, not mine. Some of his work has won awards, most hasn't. He's now going to speak to us about how to write a tweet and avoid getting fired. There will be questions at the end. This is our final speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, can we really raise the roof for Mr. John Thornton?
My clicker's not working, so that's a good start.
Use Dave. Dave's a really good clicker.
Anyway, hi. So I'm John. I used to work for Innocent Smoothies. This is all about not getting fired in the former Innocent Smoothies, but it's fine. So I was a social media manager for 3.5 years and a copywriter for 1 year, and I've just recently quit to go work for a startup cereal company called Surreal. So feel free to check us out on Think Cheers. Sort of like, basically not done any work for them yet. I've only been there a month, so sort of like Liam Gallagher just dragging out all my old hits. No one cares about my new work. So what I'm going to be chatting to you about today, going to be sort of how I think about social, posting stuff people want to see, personality and tone of voice, blah, 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 blah. Some of my many fuck-ups. I'm going to be banging on and on and on about the colour blue. There's going to be a bit of weird stuff about toilet brushes, but just stick with it. I'm also going to talk about why I hate grapes. The other keynote speakers today, we've had Joyanne talking about sort of the importance of diversity, inclusion, representation. We've had John talking about the importance of sustainability and climate action. And now I'm just going to kind of show you some silly tweets I've written. So here's the first one. And here's another one. Just to check, can everyone sort of read them at the back? No one needs them read out. You can't see from this angle. I'm blocking them, great. Then here's another little post we did, a little Instagram post. And now, if you look very carefully at all these tweets, you'll see none of them are actually about our smoothies. In fact, this one is about a completely different drink. And we don't really talk about product very much. In fact, we talk about product so little that drinkers get in touch and tell us we've forgotten to mention them. To which we replied, please don't mention this to our boss. And that's because at Innocent I didn't really use social to advertise our product. I'd use it to advertise our brands. I'd want to make people love a brand and then maybe buy a smoothie sort of as a second thing. But really kind of the way we see it, right, Innocent's always had this very natural tone of voice. We make natural drinks, natural tone of voice. We want to sound like a human. We don't want to sound like there's sort of 20 corporate people cramming as many messages into a tweet as possible. We basically just want to sound like we've given the Twitter password to an idiot. And that's where I came in. And this actually really worked for us. So our social had a 215% ROI, and I have a graph to prove it, so just you wait for that. But really, when you think about social, no one's going on social to look at adverts, okay? No one's going to hear the latest news about orange juice, because no one gives a fig about juice, okay? People are going on social media to look at dogs, or to keep up with celebrities, or to go up at delicious food, or to follow the latest political disaster that's unfurling, okay? No one's going on to look at adverts, so you're competing with all of these things for attention. Basically, on social, dogs are your competitors. And so you've got to ask yourself, why would someone follow you? So if you're just posting boring, advert crap, no one wants to see that. So to illustrate this point, I thought I'd try and think of the most boring, driest product out there. So I've come up with toilet brushes, and I've created a fake toilet brush company called the Crapperton Toilet Brush Co. This is their CEO. And so if you're the marketing department for the toilet brush company, why would someone follow you? If your answer is to keep up with all the latest toilet brush innovation, no one's going to do that. No one gives a fig about juice, but no one gives a shit about toilet brushes. Okay. So you've got to post stuff people want to see, or no one will see it. So if you're not posting just about the latest toilet brush innovation, what are you posting about? So I think as a company you can choose to do one of three things, or maybe more, but entertain, inspire, or inform. So entertain, that's things like Dave, so obviously comedy TV channel makes sense that they post comedy stuff online. Then inspire, so you know how these companies like Tasty, they post these top-down recipe videos, they always do really well. And so then B&M just started doing exactly the same thing. Top-down recipe videos with the products they sell, kind of inspiring people. And look how well they've done. So 11,000 comments, just of people tagging their friends, being like, oh, we should make this, we should do this. 11,000 comments from B&M, who you probably don't think of as like a great brand, no offense to B&M. Inspire as well, so like agencies, I think running social for agencies is a really tough gig. But what one PR company do, they run this a page called Famous Campaigns, where they just post great campaigns from other agencies. Then you click through that link to their website, basically just a big advert for the PR agency. Then Inform, so kind of the driest one of them all, but Monzo are great for this, obviously banking, about as dry as it gets. But instead of just posting about APR rates or overdrafts, blah, 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 they'll post like helpful money sort of savings tips, things like universal credit when people were losing their jobs at the start of the pandemic, things like that. Or the Metro, so when Jeff Bezos, God bless him, was announced as the richest man in the world, rather than just kind of post a link through to the article, their social team at the Metro tried to spend all his money in one day. It's harder than it, they think, it said. So they first they bought every sort of Premier League club. They spent all day just throwing money at problems. They still couldn't spend anywhere near all his money, so it really brought the whole story to life in a much better way than if it just clicked through to a link. So really you want to have banging on about product as your side dish and not your main course. That's really important when you think about how social works nowadays. So basically how it used to work was you post something to your 10,000 followers, assuming they all log in, etc., your 10,000 followers would see it, and then if any of them like it, share it, retweet it, whatever, even more people would see it. That was how it used to work. Now, thanks to the algorithms, how it works, you post something to 10,000 followers, the algorithm shows it to my mum. And if my mum engages with it, and she's a tough crowd, then someone else will see it. And so then if that person engages with it, someone else will see it, and so on and so forth. And so repeat this a few million times. So if you're really lucky, if your content's really good, it'll reach about 5,000 people. So it might reach half your audience. So Innocent, we had 600,000 followers on Facebook, and on average, a post would reach about 100,000 people. That's like a sixth of our audience. So for posts to be seen, people have to react to them. And so your engagement equals reach. You're not going to reach anyone unless people are liking it, sharing it, getting in touch. And this is true for us as well. So here's a tweet I wrote about a smoothie. It's fine. But look at that, it got fucking 6 retweets, 52 likes. Bag of crap. You know what gets loads of retweets? A fucking grape with a beard. So my old manager posted this just after I joined. 3,000 retweets, 15,000 likes. And basically, I spent 3.5 years trying desperately to be that fucking great. Another great example of people who don't really talk about product. So John Lewis Christmas adverts, they don't really talk about product, they just create like a nice feeling, nice emotion. Always do amazing, 28,000 retweets. So what you want to do is you want to think about how people use your brand and try to reflect that. So if you're a gym, post workout videos, not just your membership prices. And if you're a toilet brush company, so if you're going down the entertain route, I'd be posting things like what your wiping stance says about you. For the record, I'm a stand-up wiper. All you sit-down wipers are freaks. Running water sounds to help you pee, like silly videos, crap to watch while you crap. Rate and rank toilets from around the country. If you're going for more of the inspire route, maybe some bathroom decor, interesting articles to read while you crap. Inform, bit drier as you can see, but like cleaning hacks, health warnings, E. coli, I don't know, monkeypox, that's the big new one. But if I ran the social for a toilet brush company, I wouldn't post any of that. What I'd post is a little something I like to call top of the slots, where I would get people to send in pictures of their shit, and then I would rate it. Getting a few no's, a few groans. And so I've had that little piece in my presentation for a while, and it's been a nice little joke. And I've been like, oh, I wonder if I actually did get a job at the toilet brush company, would I be able to do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw this company on Twitter called Tushy. And they're an American B-Day company. Said, strapline, stop wiping your butt, start washing with Tushy. And when it was the Super Bowl, they ran a campaign called Super Bowel, where they genuinely asked people to send them pictures of their shit. And they'd send you $10,000. So people actually did that. Look at that. And look at those retweets. This is a little summary of everything I just said. You're competing for attention, so post stuff people want to see. Entertain, inform, or inspire, and try to reflect how you use. Oh, and also I hate that fucking grape. And so now that was kind of like the sort of the big picture stuff. Now a little bit more sort of day-to-day how I did my job. So first of all, we'd reply to everyone. If someone's taking the trouble to reply to a corporation on Twitter, that's quite a big deal, I think. Like, if anything, it's a little bit weird. Like, just some guy sat in an office, you feel the need to chat to him. That's amazing, and you need to treat that like gold. So we would literally reply to everyone. So I'll tweet something like this in the morning. And then this guy, Finn Toner, gets in touch. He has a little joke. And so I'll get back to him. And, we do the same, even on dry platforms like LinkedIn. Some guy who started, it was fantastic first week, met many super talented, super nice people, blah, 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 blah. Super talented, so you haven't met the marketing team yet. So I commented out on like a Friday afternoon, came back in on a Monday morning. Marketing weren't very happy with me. It's like I say, don't work there anymore. Anyway, what we try and do, we try and talk like a human. So, like I was saying, we don't want to sound like a whole marketing department, just want to sound like another person there. It's like, a few years ago now, this person tweeted us, like, why don't you make mint orange juice? They also tweeted our main competitor. The reason we don't make mint orange juice is because that would be fucking shit. And that's pretty much what we told him. I mean, I'm not allowed to say fucking shit on the Innocent Smooth account, but did the best we could. Peppermint orange juice, are you mad? Whereas our delightful competitor said, we can't accept unsolicited ideas from outside the company, blah, 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 blah. And kind of all that stuff I was saying at the start about like trying to build the brand and advertise a brand, the whole point of that is like, when you're in the supermarket, if our orange juice, their orange juice, same price, same size, etc., everything's the same. Kind of the difference that makes them pick up ours and put theirs down can be just something as small as that little conversation on Twitter. What I find really interesting about this, though, is you can rewrite their answer in our tone of voice. So like we'd be like, our lawyers don't let us take ideas, but you never know. You you can be right about it's not as good as the actual answer we gave. That's because our answer had personality. So I kind of see tone of voice as the exact language you use, but personality is kind of the idea behind it. That comes first and it's more important. So have a personality. For instance, someone spotted this typo on one of our bottles, saying in like the little print it says, is a blend of fruit juice. And they tweeted us, oh, a bit of a typo. And I think most companies, to be honest, just wouldn't respond to that. One or two would be like, oh, that's a bit embarrassing, we'll get that changed. My old boss retweeted her. And so that's when we talk about personality, it's sort of, everyone thinks, especially with Innocent, but companies in general, they're all like happy, clappy, always positive, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what humans are. Humans aren't always positive. Like, they're not positive 100% of the time. I'm maybe positive 5% of the time. And so even on Innocent, we wouldn't be positive about everything. So we try and have emotions and opinions. So when Boris Johnson announced the third lockdown in January, my favourite of the three, we tweeted that. No happiness from us, just spite. National Potato Day, I ranked every form of potato, knowing that people would bite, and then spent all day just arguing about potatoes with people. Why is mash so high? Potato flavoured Nutella. Hasselback, no made-up ones, please. What about potato cake? So type of cake. And so with our content, we plan a bit. We do some planning. So like we know when Valentine's Day is coming up, we know when April Fool's Day is, whatever. So like do stuff like that for April Fool's Day. But we don't plan a lot. So humans don't plan content for their social. They just think of something on the toilet and tweet it out into the ether. That's kind of my approach. And that's basically my excuse for having terrible organisation. But it means I'd wake up, I'd just see what's going on. If it's raining, I'll tweet about the rain. If it's a heat wave, I'll tweet about the heat wave, or whatever. And that means we really got into the habit of being able to be reactive, so we can kind of leap on things really quickly. So like one time, Instagram went down. So we put Instagram was down, the influencers panic, their power is waning. Smashed avocado on sourdough doesn't seem so appetizing in this cruel, filterless world. They cling to their hair vitamins, screaming #blessed. Even detox tea can't save them now. This was like 7:45 at night. It was all people were talking about. We got nearly 5,000 retweets, one of our best tweets. Also pissed off loads of influencers, which is always good fun. Who better to piss off than people with 20,000 followers? But we ought to just shit that out at the kind of middle of the evening, because that's how we're built, that's what we used to. So yeah, 98% of my tweets are written 10 seconds before I post them. Just kind of put it through a few filters in my head. Will I be fired for this? No? Okay, off we go. It's like one morning we spotted this dog on the train. It's just tweeted out, dog on the train. And people started sending in pictures of dogs, second dog on the second train, dog on the tube, dog having absolute whale at the time. Just doing this all day. Because like I said, dogs are your competitors, but if you can't beat them, retweet them. And the reason I'm able to do all this, I'm allowed to do all this, is because we don't need sign-off. So we don't have to run stuff by senior people. And there's a very good reason for that, and that's because senior people don't have a sense of humour. If a person sitting next to you didn't laugh, it means they're very senior. But this does keep senior people up at night, literally. So I found out as one of our senior people gets notifications on their watch whenever they tweet. So scheduled that for 11:15 at night. I then set my alarm for 5:30 the next morning to tweet them again. But yeah, so at Innocent we have a rule which is if you're 70% sure, go for it. Although to be honest, I go as low as 40%. That's not just on social, that's everywhere, supply chain, finance, whatever. And this means we can kind of get away with quite a lot of stuff that probably other companies can't. So when the pubs opened after lockdown, I tweeted this. There's absolutely no way a senior person is signing off me pretending to be drunk. But it did really well, people were sharing it on LinkedIn all day. But this does mean that, sometimes stuff will go wrong. So during lockdown, we were encouraging people to bring our banana phone, check our customer service if they were bored or lonely or whatever. Just easy thing to post out. Just have to post a phone number, just 11 numbers. I've been to school, I should know numbers by now. I posted the wrong phone number. And so then Tracy from Stockport got 60 calls from random strangers. So then I had to post a little apology, post a new number, triple checked. Very strange. Really, working at Innocent, you have to do strange things like call up your designer, like, can you write a phone number on a banana for me? I'm in a lot of trouble. We had this great one, so we launched these new drinks called Refreshers. They were shit. We don't sell them anymore. But someone messaged us, oh, what's this drink? I need it. I replied, oh, it's lemon, ginger, and spring water. And then got a very angry email from someone in the brand marketing team being like, oh, it's not spring water, it's mineral water. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, what's the fucking difference? And so then someone tweeted an official apology, apologising for our horrible mistake, getting spring water and mineral water confused. What kind of idiot does that? And we turned it into a whole campaign, mineral water, not spring water. I did 3 times better than the original post. And I also got to really get back at that brand marketing person. But really what we learned from this is that calamities are opportunities. And so John was talking earlier about like authenticity and vulnerability. And because we want to feel like a human runs a page, we really try and dial up kind of and just be honest about when we get stuff wrong. There's nothing people like more than me getting a fucking typo in a tweet. I got 2 typos in one tweet once, and our followers had the best day of their lives. But sort of any little mistake that's going on, I'll just like admit it. So this tweet about blocking people who share pictures of banana bread. So I did block someone for sharing pictures of banana bread and couldn't remember how to unblock them. I didn't have to tweet that, but there's a funny thing to draw attention to. Even better, a colleague accidentally changed our official Instagram profile picture to a picture from his wedding. And then went on holiday. So he fucks up and then just fucks off. And my boss texted me and was like, lol, that he's done this. And a lot of companies, you'd be like, in quite a lot of trouble for that. I mean, there's some like big old horrible corporates. Maybe you'd get fired. We're like, that's fucking funny, let's post about that. And so then we wrote this little thing on our apps, on our notes app, so we posted that on Instagram, saying, we called him our boss, he wasn't our boss, but it's funny if it's your boss. Saying, our boss has changed the profile picture, we're not gonna let him live it down. The reason we chose notes app, again, authenticity, that's how humans post like long words on Instagram. They don't do all these glamorous sort of branded things. We want it to feel just like people messing around. And we had all these WhatsApp conversations of us texting him, taking the piss out of him. So we put the logo on our bottles, put the logo on our billboards, even put the logo on the sign of our building. Then we tweeted about it as well, and Specsavers started getting involved. It's really, can't believe my mate got Specsavers. What a day. And anyway, this whole thing, this turned into being our second best Instagram post ever. Just from us messing around, us owning up to a little mistake, whatever. Which brings us nicely into something I call Conkergate, which is a bigger mistake. So we make these dairy-free drinks, like oat milk, almond milk, etc., etc. But legally we can't call them milk because the milk lobby get very cross. And so it makes them very hard to talk about if you're talking about our almond and oat dairy-free range, blah, 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 blah. You can't even fit that on a billboard. So me and my boss had an idea one October. We'd invent a fake one, Conker milk. Conkers are everywhere. We'll say we've milked for, might, like rile up Piers Morgan. Be like, oh, I'll drink anything, restart, blah, blah, blah. Be great, right? So it turns out conkers are poisonous. Turns out members of the public don't like poison. So we're getting all these angry tweets from people, conkers are poisonous, hot children are going to eat conkers, you're going to poison children, there'll be blood on your hands. Which is probably more than I bargained for when I got a job with Innocent Smoothies. But, and so, we did the right thing, we deleted it, we apologised to people, we took it down really quickly, and we're like, oh, sorry about that, it was a bit rubbish, blah, blah, blah. But don't worry, we're taking it down. Most people were cool with that, because we acted really quickly. Some people just love being cross, so some people started talking to the Ofcom and ASA, fucking snitches. And so we were like, okay, we should probably like warn people not to drink Conkers just to cover our backs. But so we basically just did a whole public health campaign. Do not eat or milk Conkers in massive letters. Put that out there, and then our followers found it really funny, so they started tweeting like, oh, I don't know if I get it. Can I eat Conkers? Do not eat Conkers. What happens if you do milk a Conker? Bad things. I already milked Conker and opened the portal to another dimension. Don't eat Conkers, don't milk Conkers, don't open portals to other dimensions. So now, on average, we get about 8 million impressions a month, but this Conker campaign, just begging people not to drink Conkers, I got 10 million in a weekend. So absolutely smashed our stuff. And most importantly, 0 Conker fatalities. And now you might be looking at it like, why do they allow you to do that stuff? But it's kind of like the risk is worth the reward. So like I said, no sign-off equals 215% ROI. Now here is that graph. Look at that, eh? So basically how we calculated this, we did some horrible corporate thing called econometrics, where we basically took 3 years of marketing activity and compared it to 3 years of sales figures and saw where the spikes were, blah, blah, blah. So I had to go through 3 years of social media posts, counting all the likes, retweets, and shares. It was fucking torturous, but got this little number out of it, so cling to that. It's probably not even up to date anymore, but who cares? Here's everything I just said, so we reply to everyone. We're trying to have a personality. If you're 70% sure, go for it. Calamities are opportunities. Please do not eat Conkers. And that grape has a 215% ROI. And now you might be like, oh, please just talk about how to actually post about products, that's all my boss wants, blah, 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 blah. But basically, if you're always posting stuff people want to read, people get in the habit of reading your stuff. That means they'll then read the stuff about whatever it is you sell. So a couple of years ago, we launched a new blue drink. It was our first ever blue drink. And everyone internally thought it was a very big deal. And we were like, I mean, like that smoothie I showed you earlier with the 6 retweets. Product person never really did anything for us. So the social team, we just didn't really care. I'll be honest, we shat this out. We'd basically forgotten to tweet about it, and someone very senior was getting cross with us. So like the designer stayed a bit late to get it done, the light had gone, he couldn't really get the colour right. We were like, who cares? No one's going to see it, we'll just post it out there. And then immediately, someone tweeted us and said it looks green. Now, when this is your big product launch of the year, that is a little bit embarrassing. So I didn't really know how to respond to that. I thought like, oh, what would my boss do? And I remember, oh, we never make mistakes. So I replied to him, it looks blue. Someone else gets in touch, it's not blue. It is blue. Looks greenish blue, to be honest. Looks bluish blue, to be honest. People started trying to bring science into it. I've no time for that. Someone, now fam, it's defo green. Now fam, it's defo blue. This goes back to what I was saying about tone of voice. There's no way now fam, it's defo blue is in the innocent tone of voice guide, but personality is more important. And then loads of people started reading replies and sharing it. So a person like, oh my god, read replies. This is my favourite one. Fucking green, you insufferable balance. Obviously that gets a retweet. And then loads of people started going out, buying a juice, sending us pictures of a juice, saying whether it was blue or green. People were even sending pictures of other people drinking. People started saying I should get a pay rise. So what we did was we spent half our media budget, half our social media budget for the year promoting these tweets saying I should get a pay rise. So that helped it go even further, but that was sort of after a couple of weeks. So the organic reach of that, so like I said, normally we get 8 million a month, but organically we got 33 million in a weekend. And so even better, so that got sort of 8,000 retweets. But that girl saying read replies, she got 30,000 retweets, which is more retweets than a John Lewis Christmas advert. More specifically, the worst John Lewis Christmas advert. All the others got way more than me. But better still, finally beat that fucking grape. So in conclusion, it is blue. And in conclusion, please do not eat all milk compost. I have finished talking. And now we do have some time for questions, but I would remind you all that after this we're going to the pub, so if you don't want to ask me any tough questions, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, any questions?
Did you get a raise?
Very small one, yeah. After some really, really had to beat a John Lewis Christmas advert, but I did get one.
Can you remember your score from postcode cricket?
Can I part of what?
Do you remember your score from postcode cricket?
From?
Postcode cricket.
I can't believe it. Yeah, so in lockdown I was so bored, and so I invented a new game called Postcode Pandemonium, where basically you would add up all the numbers in your postcode, and then each letter had a value, so A is worth 1, Z is worth 26. You'd basically just add up your postcode, and then tweet it to us, and we'd rate you as good or shit. I think our score was about 61. That was actually a good bit of fun, because everyone was loving it. It was the #2 trend on Twitter, and loads of people kept sending us tweets being like, their postcode added up to 69, and they'd put like snigger or chuckle or something like that, childish giggle. So I kept sharing these, and then our CEO told me off, because apparently making jokes about 69s, like, in his opinion, all sex acts aren't appropriate content for innocence movies. He would not be a fan of Top of the Slops, let me tell you. But yeah, I think we got about 61.
But overall, how did you do? What's the second one?
Oh, the second, I think I got like 3 million impressions, and a big telling off.
Yeah, got a couple of wicked presentations. 2 questions. You talk about the sort of not needing the sign-off. So where do you stand? I probably know this answer, but where do you stand on agencies managing brands, social media networks? And the second one is, how close do you have design within? Did you have design within the social media team, or did you have to work with the design team to get the posts out there?
So yeah, agency one. So I've never worked agency side. I did a webinar recently with someone called Melody who worked for an agency who did Aldi and then Lidl, and I think they did have basically trust to go and do it. And they spoke about how they had something they called a fuck it button, where kind of like our 7% thing, you're like, yeah, fuck it, just tweet it, like, what's the worst that can happen? Some quite bad things, and it turns out poison, for instance. But yeah, if you kind of, I think it is shifting a bit, like the Weet-Bix and Beans thing. You can see from all the companies who got funny stuff out in reply to that, the day's been very sort of tight and stuffy around it. Do appear to be relaxing. You're just not going to get anywhere if you're not. So they do need to be given agencies like free or free-ish rate, and also like drawing like a few guidelines about what is and isn't okay. So like politics, we're not allowed to talk about unless it's like completely neutral. So we'll encourage people to go vote. I'm not allowed to say that I think Tories are wankers. So I have to find other ways to just slip it into conversation. And then design, yes, so we have an in-house design and copy team, but then we had on social a separate designer who was just our kind of go-to person. To be honest, our process, basically I would shit something out on Twitter. If it did well, I would then put it on Facebook, and we'd think of a way to put it on Instagram, rather than kind of do the design first and then it flops, because that's a bit that takes time.
What's your favourite platform to use?
Favourite platform? I like Twitter. I think it is kind of harder now because you have to like build that audience, whereas TikTok, which I don't really understand, but you can good content will kind of go viral on there without you needing an audience first. Also, LinkedIn, a lot of dark horse, because LinkedIn's full of basically so much crap but if you do anything interesting on a tour, it'll like massively cut through. It's like that drunk tweet I showed, which got like 300 retweets on Twitter. People were sharing screenshots of that on LinkedIn. Like one person got like 10,000 likes. So a tweet of ours did better on other people's LinkedIns than on our own Twitter. And like, I actually got banned from the Innocent LinkedIn page once for having too much fun on there. Because people still, like, the senior people are very stuffy and like, their CEO friends look at it and want to be all professional, but have fun on there like you would anything else, is my thinking. Oh, we've got one down in front here, Dave.
How many people are there in the social team? Because you mentioned, being up at 9 in the morning. So just wondering how many and how do you kind of do the always on thing?
Yeah, so that question was how many people in our team. So we'd have the social media manager, which is me, the designer, our head of digital, kind of our boss, who I just sort of, if I was like, oh, is this funny, if not, I'd run things by, and then 3 customer service people who would kind of chat to people, reply to people, etc., whilst also handling emails, phone calls, etc. So kind of between 1 and 6. And then if that full-time customer service resource probably added up to 1 because of other stuff, so maybe like about 3-ish people, I'd say. It helps that we're not in e-commerce, we're purely doing brand stuff, so we're not trying to like drive people through, so I think we can get away being smaller than some. Gymshark had like 20 people in that team, which is mental.
Yeah, if you're really reliant on personality, what happens if that person leaves?
Just hire another idiot, basically. Yeah, like because I moved to the copy team for the last 12 months, and so they've like, yeah, they just hired another idiot. He's the guy who, he's so stupid, he changed his profile picture to his wedding photo, so perfect.
Do you think that what you talked about there can be universally applied? So, for example, Innocent was a well-known brand before you started using tweets, so you talked quite a lot about talking about the product in a secondary way, so you talk about something else and the product, sort of follows. But you're moving to a startup where the product is going to be really unknown, so do you feel you have to adapt to start talking about the product a bit more?
Yeah, we've been talking about product a little more. You kind of just win that fight wherever you go and be like, don't need to talk about product that much. Also, I'm going to a cereal company, so I'm going to talk about spoons a lot. Going to talk about milk and stuff. Like, you can kind of talk around the product without necessarily being like 13 grams protein, 0 grams sugar. That is our selling point, by the way, if any of you are into the gym. But also, it does actually work across like, so Doncaster County Council probably doesn't sound like a very entertaining social media presence, but they have an amazing Twitter account where they're very silly. So in like a very dry area, or like Orkney Library, you also see companies who their personality in other media is quite safe, quite normal. So like a Greg's out-of-home advert is just normally a picture of a sausage roll and whatever price it is. But on Twitter, they're much sillier. So it kind of, not only can it be more or less universal, but also you can do it on Twitter and not anywhere. You can have a better personality on Twitter than you need other places. Or like the Wheat Beans thing I mentioned, some of the companies replying there. There was Christian Aid, there was the State of Israel. So like, if those things can have a joke on Twitter, kind of, who can't?
Thank you.
I think we're done, Dave. Fine. Nice. Cheers.